Good morning, class. So today we're going to be talking about making a name tag name tag tile here out of clay. So really what a tile is, it's like any flat, it could be glass tile, it could be clay tile. It's basically a flat, either square, rectangle. They can come in circles with usually nothing on top of it. Okay, but we're gonna do our name on the top here with some decoration. So we're gonna add clay on top of our tile that we're gonna be making. In class, we measured and drew out our design for our tile before we start with our clay. So Mrs. S. Alright, when you get your clay, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want it in a nice long rectangle like this. And in order to get your clay like that, you're going to kind of drop it onto your board here. And you're going to just kind of keep going until you get a nice long rectangle like I have here. Next, you're going to need 2 wood pieces like this, so 2 wood boards. The wood boards are just to help get the right thickness for your tile. So in the end, our tile will probably be about as thick as this board here. That's kind of what we want. So we're going to put 2 on each side here, and then grab a rolling pin. You're going to start pressing down on your clay with your rolling pin and rolling it out, kind of like you're rolling up cookie dough. You might want to go both directions so we get it as thick as we need it to be. You're going to have to use some muscle. If it stops kind of rolling out on you, what you might have to do is stop, lift it up, peel it off, and flip it over. Because sometimes it just doesn't want to move anymore after a while. Alright, so we almost got it all rolled out here. And you will have some extra, hopefully. And once you notice that it kind of, if your rolling pin just kind of rolls on the top of your boards here, that means you have it all nice and rolled out. Then we're going to take our nice pattern that I cut out for you guys, so you don't have to measure on your clay, which gets kind of tricky. Place it on your clay and use your blue knife tool to cut it out. And you want to make sure you go straight down with your blue knife. You don't want to go at an angle. So straight down. And just kind of follow your cardboard pattern. Alright. Kind of peel it up. It's almost like cut out cookies here. Cut out cookies with clay. Alright. So then we have a nice tile here. Clay tile. Sometimes it sticks to your board, so you gotta be careful. Alright, so we will be using this extra clay that we have here to make our designs. Now, before you add any designs on top, so any clay on top, you can add some background decoration to your tile. So I have these stamps here that have different patterns to them. So kind of a scaly one here, kind of a bumpy, weavy look there. Almost like bubbles or rocks. A wood one. Gives you a wood texture. Kind of another type of scale, and then a brick look. And I think I'm going to use the brick look. So you're going to put this side face down on your tile. Oh, and it's like perfect size here. And then you're going to take your rolling pin and gently, not too hard, because you don't want to flatten your tile even more. And you don't want to go all the way out to the edges. You kind of want to stay in the towards the middle of your tile and push down and roll. And to check to see if it actually worked, just peel back one corner. We need just a little bit more over here. Just gotta just push it a little bit harder. Check this side. Oh, and this side too. Gotta get my corners. All right. There we go. So then you get the idea of a brick texture on your clay, which is pretty neat and interesting to look at. All right. From there, then we're going to add our name. And you can, there's two ways to do this. You can either cut out pieces, cut out strips from your extra clay, and set them on your clay here, clay tile, and kind of measure them out. And we don't want to go too big because we want to leave room for decoration. Kind of cut and measure. So I'm going to do my M here. Let's see that. Join these two pieces together here. Okay. We're kind of getting the idea of an M. And that one's not long enough, so I'm going to measure and make sure it's the same length here for my other side. So that's one way you can do it. You could also, this takes a little bit longer, so you can cut out chunks like that, or what you could also do is cut out a chunk and roll it, kind of roll it out like a worm. Use both hands, it works a lot better. And you start in the middle, and then you kind of slowly spread your hands apart from each other. Don't press too hard, otherwise you're going to flatten it, and it's not going to be a nice round piece. Okay, so then we have kind of a worm. And that's another way that you could add your name on there as well. Oh, my S is backwards. There we go. And we could do it like that as well. There's many ways you can add your name on there. But when we actually start gluing down, if you just set your clay on here like this and push it down just a little bit, it's not going to stay. It's actually going to fall off as it dries. So what you're going to need is a little cup of water. Not too much. And you're going to need your blue tool. So you're going to take, let's say, one of your letters here, and we're going to add just little kind of scratch marks in that S there. You don't want to go too deep. Okay, so we have little scratch marks in there. I'll show you on this one too. Little scratch marks on the bottom, just like that. And wherever you're going to put it, you're going to want some little scratch marks too in your clay. And then, let's see, gotta figure out where my S is going to be. Here, little scratch marks. Okay, once you've scratched both your tile and the piece that's going to go on there, dip your finger in a little bit of water. Put it on top of your scratch marks. So your water is going to be your glue. And then you kind of push your letter down into your tile. There we go. So your water is your glue. You need to make sure that you scratch it and glue it with your water in order for it to actually stay on there. Otherwise it'll fall off. Alright, so whenever you connect two pieces of clay, you need to make sure you scratch it and add your water to it, your glue. Alright, so that's kind of the basic idea of making your clay tile. You can come in here with different tools, different objects. So I have this guy, which I could just kind of push into my clay, which makes an interesting design to it. Almost like a flower design. And add all your designs after you get your name on it. Okay, so you can press things into your clay. You can add clay on top of your clay. You can use your tool to make different lines on there as well. But the important thing is to get your name on there first. And then then you can see what type of room you have to create your design out of. So I went a little bit away from my design. You want to stay with your design as much as you can, so I can come back in and add little holes here like I intended by just kind of poking some holes there. You don't want to go all the way through when you are cutting lines in there or poking holes, because it weakens your tile and then it will tend to break more often. So I could add my triangles at the bottom like I was intending on doing, and just cutting that triangle out of the clay, lining it up where I want it to be. And then remember, those don't just stay on there. You got to scratch it and then glue it on there. And you got to scratch both pieces in order for it to stay. Alright, if you need help, let me know, and I will come around and help you. Otherwise, have fun and be creative.